Good evening, everybody. If you can hear me, just use the thumbs up, um, or you just say yes in the comments. So we're actually starting in the next 5 minutes, and we're not really going to be taking time tonight. So I'm just going to leave it to completing auto layout this night. And so we're just completing auto layouts this night, and so our facilitator that is going to be taking us is Tenor. Is already in the house. He's the one that is taking all the constraint variables and I say component variables and variants, and he's the one that's going to complete the auto layouts this night. I've got a couple of meetings, so by 8:10 he's just going to start, and I believe that we have a good section. All right.
Yeah, good evening, everybody.
Are we all here? If we can hear, let's respond though. So Tena is already here. I didn't even know he's here already. So Tena is already here. He's our facilitator for these nights till the next 2 or 3 days. So you need to get familiar with him. So I'm gonna leave it to him right now so he can continue. But by 8:10 we'll start fully. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Awali. Good evening, everybody. My name is Gope Atena, and like Mr. Awala said, I'll be the one that would handle this evening's class on completing auto layout. So I just want everybody to respond because the class is going to be interactive. Yeah. So, like I said, by 8:10 we'll kick off. Let's just wait for more people to join in. All right. Good evening, everybody, once again. If you can hear me, please leave a thumbs up. I know you're here. All right. So, all right. So, welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Sorry, permit me how my voice is sounding. I'm a little bit under the weather, so that's why I'm sounding this way. So, yes, we'll get right into the class, but first off, let's do a little brush up revision, so to call it, because I know Mr. Wale has already started auto layout yesterday. So who can tell me what they've learned, what they could remember from yesterday's class? Anybody, you can raise your hand and I'll speak. You could um, leave a chat. Anybody. Auto layout. What do you know is auto layout? What were you taught yesterday? Anybody? Today's class is going to be really fast too, so let's interact. Let's not make it. Anyone? Anybody? Okay, Nadia said.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Godfather, go ahead.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry. From what Ola taught us yesterday, that auto layout is the best way of designing a responsive layout that can be orderly, well organized, and so on and so forth.
Okay, that's good. That's good. You picked something. Anybody else picked anything? Anybody else picked anything? All right. Nadia said to create button on auto layouts, top nav bar with auto layouts. Okay. Hope you're not just telling me what you were told, Sha. You can actually do this. Okay, so let's get into it, right? Let me just share my screen. So, like Mr. Wale rightly said, auto layout um is what can help you, right, create that responsive design. So you want to achieve a responsive design that works well on all devices. Your auto layout is your go-to. Auto layout is your go-to because you don't want to create once and create again for another screen and create again for another screen. Auto layout will help you create once and you just adjust to fit other screens. Please confirm when you can see my screen. You could drop a reaction. All right. So I'll just let's go to the file. All right. So Mr. Wiley has already touched on creating buttons and creating now top nav bars. So today I would walk you through creating cards, creating menus, so to say. So, but let's do a recap of the button. So let me create a button, right? So let's say I have this text that says click to continue. Okay, this size is very small. Let me increase my font size to something big. Zoom in. All right. So click to continue, right? So let me add an auto layout to this. Yes, so I just added an auto layout. I use the shortcut which is Shift A on your keyboard. So now let me change the color and just do some little tweaking on the button. So let's give it something like this, and let's add a background color to it. Right. So we have these buttons. So I don't know, did anybody also did Mr. Wale touch on this auto layout um controls here from this panel, what you can do with this panel?
Yeah,
Did
he did.
anyone
Yeah, he did.
okay. Godfather, you're the one talking, right?
Come on, talking. Yeah, Godfather.
Okay, okay. So just tell, just tell me what you know this place is about.
Which one?
Can you see my cursor?
Yeah, I can see your
The
course.
auto layout, yeah, the auto layout panel. What did Mr. Wale say about this part?
Your voice, your voice is breaking. I didn't get your question.
Okay, I said, what did Mr. Wale say about the auto layout panel yesterday?
Okay, the panel is for the configuration of the layout, the auto layout, for the space between an object to the edge, space between two objects, and so on and so forth. So the space between
All
an
right.
object to the edge is called padding. Then the other one is called I forgot.
Yeah, you tried. Yeah, it's part. So well done on that. Right. So when you create something with an auto layout, for our example here now, we are looking at a button, right? So you can see that by creating this button has vertical and horizontal paddings set on them, which is 8. So if I expand this to 16, watch these edges before my text starts and after my text ends. It opens up. If I should do that to the top and bottom as well, watch the space at the top and at the bottom. It increases as well. So that's how we achieve auto layouts with button. Now, well, we'll move to cards quickly, right? So let me just quickly try and design a card now, or just bring a card from somewhere. Okay, let me bring a card from somewhere, would deconstruct it and create it all over again. Let me get this card. Okay, so I'm going to drop this card and I'm going to create the card all over again. So we'll see how we can use auto layout to achieve what we have on this card. So, but first of all, yes, I'll show you how this card adjusts. So you see auto layout in play. So I'm just going to push the edge of the card, and you can see how my text is adjusting, and you can see how the image is also adjusting to create space for the text as the text is breaking down. Right. So this is what we can do with auto layout. So assuming this card now, I need this card with the original size before I reduced this. I needed it was for a desktop design, but I now need it on a mobile design. I don't have to create it all over again. With the help of auto layout, just have to adjust. I can just do this by pushing it, or I can just play with my settings on the auto layout panel. Some of the settings trying to join. Let me admit. Someone is trying to join. Okay. Okay. So that's all over again. So while I'm creating the cards, I'm going to be explaining um, the panel and the controls I'm using. So first of all, I have a text that says partners. So let me type it all over again. Let me not copy what I have there and paste. Equity partners, right? The next is I have a tag that says in progress. I'm not going to design that status tag. I'm just going to bring it down. So yes, I have this badge. Then I have it text. Somebody leave a message. Okay. So I have this text here. So let me replace it with this text I have here. And then I have these profile images. So I'm just going to bring that profile image down. Right. So these are all the components, or these are all the things that make up that card, right? So now I want this card to be, I want to create this into an auto layout. So I'll select everything and I can just click here to make this into an auto layout, or I can hit Shift A on my keyboard, which I like to do. I prefer using the shortcut. So this creates, this now aligns everything for me. So what we observe here is everything that has been aligned. We have a gap of 15 in between each of these items or objects that are inside this auto layout. My padding to my left and right is 0. My padding to my top and my bottom is 0. Right. So let's check on this card. On this card we have our padding to the left and the right as 20, top and bottom as 20. So let's set this to 20 on both sides. So now I've set it to 20 on both sides. I did it once. I didn't click here and put 20, click here and put 20, right? If someone's trying to join. I don't know, Mr. Wale, can you help me to be admitting the people so switch
Don't worry, I'm
I
doing
don't
that.
switch to okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So we've made it we've made it 20 now. The the gap between is 19, but let's use 16 on ours, right? So then now I can give it a color. Can give it a color, but
Sorry, can I
my
ask a
text color.
question?
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
How did you make how did you do the 20 out? Like, how did you make 20 reflector on both sides at once?
How did I what?
Make is it padding and the two? How do you make it 20 at once?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So on my keyboard, right, I pressed command, which is going to be I think control on your keyboard. Press it and click on that on that number there. So you see how you see this blue line now, the thing extends. So initially it was just, let me click out again and click back in. Initially it was separated to left and right, top and bottom, right? So, but if I do press the command and click on it, look at the icon here. It's is now all padding.
Oh, pardon.
So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
so any number I set here affects all sides, top, bottom, left, and right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. So that's what I did. So let's go back. So now I'll change the color of my text to black because obviously my background is not is white. So we can't use a white text on so let's use pure black for that. Right. So I'll just do a little bit of formatting on my text just to make sure it looks good. All right. So the our example card also has a border radius of 10. So let's also set it to 10. Right. So we have this card now. Let's call this practice card. So now we have this card, right? It is exactly what we have here, but we just added an auto layout. We've not set the constraints and all those things. So this is what happens now. If I should adjust this card, you can see it's already adjusting itself. Hold on. Because it is on auto layout already. But the reason why this is happening is because if you check here on this, okay, so because I copied it, right? Let me remove this. So by default, this is not going to be set to fill. It's going to be set to fixed. Let me take it back. Let me take it back here. So this is what we have. I select my text. My text is set to fill. So I'll take it back to fixed because that's how it is by default. It is set to fixed. Or sometimes hog. So let me take everything back to fixed or hog, anyone. So now we just created the auto layout for the card itself. We've not affected anything inside the card. So adjusting the card, nothing adjusts alongside with it, right? So for us to achieve this flexible adjustments of our items, this our card now, we have to set these um these items, you have to set them from the auto layout control here. So we see the width of the text now, the width is 746 pixels. So I'm going to change it to fill container. What that fill container means is this is going to adjust to the size of the container. The container in this case is our card. So whether I stretch this card, whether I reduce this card, so long as the text is set to fill, it is going to adjust itself to always fill, and it's also going to maintain the padding that we set. You know, we set a padding of 20 to the top, bottom, left, and right. So which is why we can see this space here, right? So let me set the fill now to the text now to fill container, and we have this maintaining the space. So let's take the this our title text to set it to fill container. We could still do this one to fill container as well. Let me make it fill container as well. Right. So now what I just did is I set all my items, all the elements inside my card. I set everything to fill container. So that means that I can adjust this card and things would adjust while maintaining my settings. I've set it to have a gap of 16 pixels between each of them, maintain a padding of 20 pixels left, right, top, and bottom. So wherever I stretch this card to, it's just going to maintain this my setting. If you check as I'm adjusting the card, my settings not adjusting, so to say. Like the numbers are not changing, right? It's still 20 on both sides and still maintaining 16. So wherever I reduce this card to, we see that it adjusts and we have achieved this card to be responsive. Does anyone have any question on this one?
Yeah,
Any
sir.
question?
What's the difference between
All
hug
right.
and feel?
So let's practicalize this. We're already here now. So we set our text to fill, right?
Yes, yes.
So let me set it now to hug. You saw what fill did to our text. It means that our text will maintain that setting we've given it, and it will fill the container, meaning that it's just going to follow the container. The set of any set of that container takes is what that text will take. That's what fill means. Let's set it to hug. What it means is that, can you see it now? It's not going to adjust along with our container.
Okay.
Mhm.
Are you seeing it?
Tomorrow.
It's not going to adjust with our container. Do you see? Can you see the difference between fill and
Yes, 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 I can
now?
see.
Yes.
Yes.
So there are scenarios, right? As you design, where you would need to use hug or you will need to use fixed. Fixed is I want it to remain on this particular size. So this, for instance, now what I'm clicking on is 298 for the width. If I say fixed width, I'm saying I don't want this thing to go bigger or go smaller than this 298 this thing. So whether I scale up, whether I scale down, this thing is just going to remain on 298 because I said I want it to be fixed. Do you understand now?
Yes, yes, I do. Thank you very much.
Okay. So so again, to reiterate, how we achieve this responsive card is by adding everything to an auto layout and then making the elements or the items inside that auto layout fill container. Fill container. Remember, fill container. So let me quickly touch on these on this part now, right? This properties part here. So we see we have align center, we have align bottom, we have align bottom center. Okay, let me go from the top. This is align left, align top left, align top center, align top right. You should have guessed it. Align left, align center, align right, and then align bottom left, align bottom center, and bottom right. So now, if you see where our own is, it is top left, align top left. So if I set this thing to the middle and say align center, can you see that this thing has moved? This thing has also gone to the center, but because it is on fill container, we're not actually going to see it move like that, right? So you're not going to see it like that, but then everything has gone to the center. So let me stretch this card. So you see this progress, you see this status now in progress. because I set everything to the center, everything is on the center, but I set this to fill. I set this text here and this here to fill container, which is why it is not going to the center. So let me take it back to, let me use hog, right? So you see that everything has moved now, but this card is no longer responsive, because if I adjust it, the text does not align. Although since I set it to the center, everything is being constrained to the center. Everything is set to the center. If I should also set this one now, let me remove the fill and make it hug. So you see that it now comes to the center as well. So I can, based on, like I said earlier, it is all dependent, all these settings are dependent on what you are designing and what you want to achieve, right? So, sorry, excuse me. So assuming I want everything to be centered on my card, I don't have to be pushing things one by one, one by one. All I have to do is set it to align center, and everything will align to the center. Sorry. So now I've duplicated this card. I'm taking this one back to top left and see where everything goes. Now this remains at the center because the text itself, right? This text itself, I set it to align center. That is why the text itself is not moving towards the left, like I have said, it goes to the right, it goes to the right. We know normal alignment from normal Microsoft Word and all these our normal typing tools. So everything aligns. So this is to the left, top left, and this is the difference in what you are. Can you still hear me? Can you guys still hear me?
Yes,
All
yes, we
right.
can.
Yes.
Yes, we
All right. So, okay. So is this clear enough, or does anyone have any question?
Yes,
Is this
please.
clear enough? Does anyone have any question? Should I move?
Yes, yes, yes. I have
Sorry.
a question, please.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, please. How did you pick up the text and the container together to align in the center?
I just set it to auto layout, right?
Oh,
So if you remember what I was explaining, I typed this text randomly, and everything was created individually, and I selected everything together, and I
okay,
created an auto layout by clicking on this icon. Or you can do Shift A. You can press Shift A on your keyboard.
okay, thank you.
Yes. So when you do that, it will now create an auto layout for you. But then you have to set the items inside this card to match what you want to achieve. Right. So my own case, I want this card to be responsive in the sense that if I should increase the size of the card or reduce the size of the card, I want the items or the elements inside the card to adjust based on the size of the card. So then that prompted me to now create an auto layout for this card.
It's breaking. We can't hear you.
Scale it down, and
Breaking. I
I'm
can't
not
hear
going to be
anything you're
worried
saying.
about,
Okay.
whether item. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can
Okay.
hear you. Yes.
So I was saying, okay, so I was saying, so when I set my items inside my auto layout to fill container, then
Okay.
I'm now able to scale my card up. That means increase the size or reduce the size and not have to worry because I know everything would adjust based on the setting I've given to it,
Mm, okay.
right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so that's how we achieve responsive cards. So this cuts across every other aspect of your design, right? So you could be doing navigations, you could be working on cards, you could be working on sections, you could be right. So another thing I would want to still show us still under this auto layout is this. So I have this card, right? So I want to now make this card. I want to have three of these cards. So I'm just going to duplicate this card two more times, add to one that is already existing. That gives me three, right? So auto layout, how can I use auto layouts to make sure that these cards stay within a particular um
So is it me, Abi? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can also hear him.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear
Yes,
me now?
yes, I can hear you now. Yes.
Right, in a frame, but I want these cards to adjust whether I increase my frame or I'm creating one card. Who can tell me what is the best way I can achieve that?
To repeat your question because you're breaking.
Okay, I said, just hold on. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, okay. So I was saying I want to have these three cards in a frame, but I want these cards to adjust whether I increase my frame or reduce my frame. So who can tell me the best way I can do that from the knowledge you've gotten from what I explained, creating one card? Anybody is trying?
Come again with your question.
I
I
said
think
I
we
want to have my three cards, right? I want to have these three cards in a frame, and I want these cards to adjust based on the size of my frame, whether I increase it or reduce it. What is the best route I can take? Okay, people are responding. Create an auto layout altogether. Okay. So actor.
Hmm? Mm.
So did you get me?
I don't mind. Would have forfeited that money we pay the agent.
Sorry, whose mic is not muted? So okay, let me just go ahead to do that, right? So I'm going to, like who said, Nadia and Yusuf rightly said, we're going to put these three cards into an auto layout. And then, so now I put an auto layout. Can you see that we have vertical, horizontal, and wrap? Can you guys see it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So all these three have different functions. Now we set to horizontal, which is why the cards are like on the same line. Let's set it to vertical. Can we now see how it is? So the cards have stacked together. Are you guys following? Hello, I put there.
Yebo, 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 yebo.
Yes, we're following.
Okay. So you see what horizontal and vertical layout does. So this makes life very easy. So assuming I have this vertical horizontal card now on my desktop version of my design. On mobile, I want these cards to stack. I don't have to stress myself. I have to just copy it to my mobile and then change the layout, and then everything is stacked, right? So that is as easy as that. So for the third one, it's wrap. What this wrap will do is, so let me duplicate it and add another one. So I'm now going to set this to wrap. So by doing that, if I adjust when I set it to wrap and I reduce the size of my card, everything is just going to keep falling down to adjust itself. You see what wrap does? Can you see it?
Mm.
So I don't have to like stress. So assuming I want to create um more of these cards, right? So let's say the width, my width for this, the one that is wrapping, the width that's wrapping everything, let me make that 1000, for instance. So everything has adjusted. But now let's say I want to create more cards inside there. Maybe I want 6 cards. I don't want just 4 cards. All I have to do is control command D, just duplicate, and everything adjusts. So it adjusts based on the size of my frame. You understand that, right? So you see what vertical layout, horizontal layout, and wrap does. These are these are things that make our life so much easy, so easy with using auto layout. And even still with this, we can still set our paddings. So let me give it a big one now. So this is 32 to both sides. Let me reduce the gap in between to, let's use 16, right? So this size of my card now, if I based on how I adjust it. So again, I can still set it to the center. I can still set it. Let me give this a background color, but I'll give it a different color so people can see it, right? If I set this to the left, it goes to the left. If I set, okay. If I take it to the right, it goes to the right. Take it to the center, it stays at the center. Anywhere I want to arrange it to, basically, I can do that. So is that clear enough?
Yebo.
So we have this very beautiful card now. We have a very beautiful section. So this section we could name it let's assume, like, right, these are our, let's assume for the sake of this illustration, right? So this is our testimonial section. This could be for something like a tablet view, right? Because on the mobile view, we could have up to like 3 cards or 4 cards based on what we want to do. While for mobile, is now going to be the alignment. So see what's there. For desktop, we can use the um, horizontal layout. For tablet, we can use the wrap, and for mobile, we can use the vertical layout to achieve what we want to achieve. You guys understand it now, right? So that's how we make cards. That's how we make responsive cards on Figma. Right. There's going to be an assignment that will be given to you at the end of this class. So what else? The next thing, okay, you've already been taught how to create navigations, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yesterday.
Okay. Auto layout is really vast. You cannot just know it without constant practice. You need to constantly practice it to be able to understand it fully and use it. Now I set up, right. We don't just have only this gap here now, the vertical gap. We also have the horizontal gap. Okay, rather the vertical gap. This is not the vertical gap. This is the horizontal gap. So this is the vertical gap. So we can also still set the vertical gap. So let me make this a big number so you guys see the difference. Can you see it? So if I also now set this one to match that same size, so you get it now. So let me take this back to where it was. So are there any questions on this, on what we have learned so far? So we've learned how to create responsive cards using auto layouts. Is there any question on this? Anybody with a question? Anyone? Okay, so does this, so are you guys telling me that everything I said is clear? And then if you are given an assignment, you'll be able to deliver it. Okay, okay. Someone wants to say something. Okay, so for the sake of time, right? I was supposed to touch on another aspect, like try designing another thing. So I was supposed to also touch on nav bars. You guys said you've already done that yesterday, but let's just have a demo. Can we have a demo before our time is up? So let's say I have this as my logo, and then I'm going to add an auto layout to it. Let me name it logo. So then I'm just going to duplicate it and change this now to nav links. So inside, that's not going to be now. Okay, and we could have it as nav link. So let me make this my home. Let's duplicate it. And then now I can now hold these two together in an auto layout, right? So the distance here is 40. Let's reduce it to 24 and change the text now to about. I'm going to add another one. Let's say services, contact, and blog. So let's do this now. So let's say services. This is contacts, or let's take blog first. Blog, and then contacts. Right. So now I have this as my nav links inside. I have this as my nav links, navigation links. I hope they're still together. Oh. Can everybody still hear me? Please
Yeah.
give a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So then let me duplicate this again. We can have this one as maybe a button that would say uh what now? Let's say um parts, right? So so if you observe what I did here now, these ones I held them together in one auto layout, while these ones, the logo and the cart, they are standing alone, right? So we'll see why I did that now. The reason why I did that is because I would want to create a much bigger space between these ones and these other two, which is why I will have to hold these ones together so that when I increase the space between them, I'm definitely going to select everything, right? And make it an auto layout. So when I should increase the space between them, these ones would maintain this space. So the space between these ones is what now? I think is 20. I set it to okay 24. So this is it. It's set to 24. That's the distance between each of them. So let me select this main one and increase this to a big number for the purpose of practice. So while I have increased this now to 80, look at these ones. They are still at 24. They are still at 24, right? So now I want this thing to be responsive so that when I adjust it, let me get a frame. Let me get a desktop frame and put that inside. Right. So again, I have to change my font color to match what is there, because my color is white now and it's not visible, so I'm just going to change it to black. Right. So now I have this here as my navigation. I want this to serve as my navigation form. It's my desktop screen. So let me just expand my frame rather, and notice how when I expand the frame from the left, everything maintains the left. But when I did it from the right, it didn't maintain the right. So the reason for that is because the constraint here is set to left. It's set to left align. So if I should set this to the center, see what now happens, right? So let's leave it at the left. And then since we want this to be responsive, we need to make this to fill container. To fill container. It is set to hug now by default. So set it to fill container. And this is what we have. So, but then I don't want my logo to be here at the middle. So I want it to be here at the left. So this is what I'm I'm just going to set that, and then this I can have this one on my right. So assuming I have this as my navigation, let me add paddings to it so it opens up for some, it has some room. Yes, so this now has some room. So okay, Annabelle, you can go ahead. Annabelle, you really
Fabrice,
said,
I actually good evening. I actually wanted to explain the last one you did, which is you made the three of them. That's the logo. Can you hear me?
I've not got, yeah, I can hear you, but I've not gotten your question.
I want you to still explain on making the logo, the home service and the connect, making the three with the card, making them aligned, like responsive with the
I just did
constraint.
that. Yeah, so I just did that using the auto layout.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I did is I typed the text normally, right? And then I wrapped the text in an auto layout, which is same thing that happens for all these ones here. I wrapped the text in an auto layout. But for these five navigations here, I want them to be together. I don't want them to spread as much as this other ones spread when I increase the size of my frame or increase the space between it, which is why I have these ones together alone as an auto layout first before the general auto layout that has both the logo and the card. Then I now set everything to fill. So by setting it to fill, this, it is going to maintain this space. Can you see it as I'm adjusting it? Can you guys see it? Are you guys there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and you got that right. You got what I just explained about this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is how we do that. Mr. Wale, are you there? Hello, Mr. Wale, are you there? So far, has there been any questions? Is there any question? Guys, is there any question so far? Is everything clear?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. Okay. You guys are giving me thumbs up. You are saying yes. I hope when I drop the assignment, you guys would not have any issues, right? It's going to be a breeze. All right, that's great. That's great. That's great. So, Mr. Wale, are you there, sir? So okay, so while we are waiting for Mr. Wale, right? So let's just talk, right? So I think this is where I would stop the class for because of time constraint. So I would love to just hear from you guys your thoughts on the class, your any contributions, what you want to learn the next, how would you implement auto layout in your next project. Let's just stop where we are waiting for Mr. Wale to to join us here.
Made you work is almost very.
You will want me to call names?
It's the right word, but let me just say it's almost difficult.
And Godfather, let's start from you.
But I'll just find my way around.
This one I set up. Okay, fine. I would love. I'm already applying it though. Hey, please, Rook. Is it Rook or Rooch? Can you mute? Or who is that person? Somebody should mute. Somebody. There's somebody there. Okay. Yeah. I've started applying everything I've learned so far from the beginning of the whole bootcamp. So I intend to apply this one too in my subsequent practice. So I don't have much to say. Just I will apply what I've learned and see how far it will take me. Thank you.
All right. Where is Actor? Actor, I would like to hear from you. Actor, are you still with us? Okay, maybe Actor is not available to speak. So let's take Nadia. Nadia.
Hiya, Tana.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Tana. So far, I really like the auto layout, and definitely I'm gonna try on the assignment to do it. So let's see. Let's carry on the assignment, and we'll definitely carry on what we have just learned.
All right, that's great. So I'll be dropping the assignments on the group after this call right now, so
Sure.
everybody would see what they're working on, and then you just get hands-on. Right. So I think that was where we are going to draw the curtains for today's class. Well, we're looking forward to see you guys again on the next class. All right, that'll be a good night from my end. All right, everybody, take good care of yourself till we meet on the next class. All right, bye.
Bye, Tana. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Kingsley, you wanted to say something?
You raised the sound up.
Yeah. Okay, maybe it's a mistake. All right then, everybody, take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Yes. When you sorry.